G'day guys, Steve with Broken Sprocket. In this video we're going to be installing a brand new UHF radio into Eileen. I've just purchased this Oricom UHF radio to install in Eileen. It comes as a unit, and the reason why I purchased it was because it was 38% off at the time, so I thought this is a perfect time to purchase it, so we'll stick it in Eileen and then she'll have some comms. Okay, I've already made a head console for Eileen to stick the aftermarket radio in it. So I'm thinking of just sticking that little UHF just about here, right where the mirror is, and having the cable for the microphone to come up here so it's not going to interfere with the rear view vision anyway. And that'll be just about right where I want it. I don't want to cut into this head console anymore, and I don't think that the UHF will fit very nice protruding out, unlike the radio does. So I think just sticking it right here just behind this light, I think that'll be the best place for it. And I've already got power up here because I've got the radio and the light, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'll just have to run the cable up and wire it up, and the wires can just tuck in behind here nice and easily. I also have to mount the aerial to the bull bar, so I'm going to probably put it somewhere around on the left hand side here, that way it doesn't interfere with the vision of the driver. I kind of don't like it on the right hand side because it kind of distracts you a bit as you're driving if it's right in your line of vision. So I've got this piece of steel here. I'll put a hole in it, cut it to shape that I want, and weld it onto the bracketry here and just run the cables down here somewhere and back into the inside of the cabin. Alright, so what's in this box? There's a small instruction booklet and sticker. The tiniest of UHF little radios. Look at how small this is. It's not even as long as my longest finger. It's tiny, so it's going to be really cool to have that little unit. Comes with the microphone, a bracket to mount it, the wiring that it requires, and a little bracket for the microphone to sit on. A couple of plugs and fuses. And it also came with the aerial setup, which will be going on the bull bar. Okay, I'm just going to bolt the UHF up here, smack bang in the center where that mirror is, and the wires will just go behind it, and that'll be it. Okay, simple couple of screws straight through the bracket. Make sure I have it centered where I need it to be, and that'll put the UHF where I want it to be on the vehicle. This console, when I made it, it's just wood wrapped in like some sort of vinyl pretend leather with a bit of padding behind it, so it's quite easy to work with. Now that I've got the little bracket in place where I want it to be, I just need to bring this whole console down, which is quite easy. It's only a couple of screws on the side and the whole lot comes down because it's all held on with a strong steel bracket. And once I get it down, I can get to the power sources that are already up in the top of this head console. Now with the head console down, you can see the power source that I have that comes into here, which is quite easy. I can just hook it straight up to this already existing power source that powers the radio, and just run the wires just out the back here, and they'll plug straight into the back of that UHF. Alright, wiring it up's quite easy. There's only two wires. One is a power source and the other one is an earth. So that's quite easy. That joins onto the fuse here, so I'll just put that onto the power source I have up there for the radio, and there's also an earth wire up there for the radio. And then we just join this little plug here up to the end of the wires and plug it into the back of the radio, which is quite easy. So up here is the power source that I'll put the red wire. I'll just solder it onto this one, and this black wire here, I'll just take it off there where it's joined on and join that one onto the earth, which is an earth going straight to the chassis of the vehicle. I now need to run the aerial cable the route that I want it to go, and hopefully it has enough to poke in and go up into the head console, and I hope it's long enough, otherwise I'm in a little bit of trouble. Okay, I want the aerial to sit somewhere around here, so I'll just cable tie it to the bull bar and check that I do have enough cable. Otherwise this plan may have to change and I may have to put the aerial onto the other side of the vehicle. Okay, it looks like the cable is going to be long enough and it will reach into that head console. So I'm just going to run the wiring down here along with these light wires. I'll wire it up to them and just hook it up. Goes under here following the existing wiring. Into the engine bay, along the loop here, I'll just make it all join up to this stuff. I might even be able to get it in that bit of conduit. In through to the firewall. Comes in through the firewall, up behind here, and we'll continue along this route up into the console area and we'll join up to the UHF radio. I now need to make the bull bar bracket for the antenna. Remember, before welding onto any vehicle, always disconnect the battery. Okay, I've now got the UHF wired up. It's all up in place where I want it to be. I've just looped this cable behind the mirror there, because if it isn't, it's hanging way down here and it's kind of annoying. So to have it up there is much better. There's still plenty of, you know, you can still stretch this as far as you want with it wrapped around, so there's plenty of that there. It's only a small cabin here. Okay, now I've got it all wired up correctly. I'm going to check if any truckies are online and check if this radio works. Can I get a radio check, please? Anybody copy for a radio check?
Yeah, working, mate.
Excellent, thanks for that, buddy. Safe travelling. Well, there you go, it works, and it was actually quite loud. I may not need an external speaker. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.